think I ran out of fuel. Well, this isn't how I thought today would have ended. Hey everybody, hope you're all well as always. Welcome to another video on this beautiful 20-degree sunny day. Now in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the patrol, of course. We're going to try and get it to run a bit better. In the last video, I explained that when we start it, a couple of times it just backfires like really aggressively for like 2 to 3 seconds, then starts. And then sometimes when you get on it, it sort of cuts out and then dies and then backfires and then comes back to life. One thing it could be is a fuel pump running out of fuel. Another thing that's very common on these to do this is one of these. It's a cam position sensor or cam angle sensor. So these go in the back of the block. So you got to take the intake manifold off. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I've already done it to the VL. So you can see here's the intake manifold. It's just sitting on there. So if we take that off, that little hole there is where the cam angle sensor goes. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get out. So better take the manifold off. Manifold's pretty easy to get off. And yeah, I've got spare everything on this engine, so that's good. So hopefully that'll sort of fix our issue. But that's one thing I want to replace. It's what a lot of people are saying to replace, so I'll do that. And hopefully in this video, we can get it running a bit better. It actually runs quite well. So like when it's idling, when you're driving it around, putting it around town, it runs fine. It's just more so when you get on it and the cold starts, or even on hot starts, it does it. When you start it, yeah, sometimes it backfires. I don't really want to do it now because it's like 9 o'clock in the morning and I don't want to destroy the neighborhood with loud bangs. I'm going to rip all this manifold off. All this stuff at the top here is all the gas crap. That's all coming off. And then these are little stands for the engine cover, so that'll all come off. And yeah, we'll make it a lot cleaner, a lot neater. We'll move the airbox out of the way and give us some room to work on. So yeah, we'll get started and start tearing into this LS. So first of all, we'll start removing this gargantuous airbox. So right now it's just sitting in there, so we can just pop it out of the hoses and pull it out. Ow. You can see already how much room that already frees up. It's so much room in here, and we got to get to just over the back there. But you can see all this here. This is all the gas stuff. This is all coming off, so we should get even more room at the back here. Thank God. And if we head to the back of the vehicle, underneath the back of the vehicle, got this big ass gas tank we got to remove. So that'll be sweet when that's out. More ground clearance. Now, finally, we have our matching wheel on this front, because this is actually a 35, and the rest are all the BF all-terrains 32.8. So they're 33s pretty much. So 1, 2, 3 on that side are 32.8. This one's 35. So we finally got our matching wheel to go back on, so that's exciting. Yay! And the steering wheel won't be on an angle when we're driving it anymore, which is good. Now of course I haven't ruled out all the other issues it could be, like fuel pump. Sometimes it can be just the wiring itself behind the MAF unit. It sits behind the intake manifold. I'm going to check all that first, but first thing I'm going to replace is the cam angle sensor, just to make sure that it's all good. I have a spare of literally everything for this. I have spare ECU, got a spare loom, spare any type of plug that's on this motor I've got a spare of, so that's good. Another thing it can be on these LSs is stuck injectors, so the injector can stay wide open and spray fuel all the way through, even if it's not on a power stroke or an intake stroke, which is why it backfires through the manifold on cold startups. Also, I'll check all the earths on the block to make sure they're 100%, and also there's a crank angle sensor down on the manifold I am pretty certain of, so I'm going to check that as well. Just check everything. I want this thing to be running, you know, 100% all the time, because, you know, we're going to be doing some touring and shit in it, so we're going to make sure it's mint. Also, before we get going in this episode, I might take the headlights off and we'll pop these lenses off and clean inside and reseal them up, because I think we can do that. And if we can fix it and make it nice and neat, that'll save us buying some new lenses. These are Series 3 headlights. And I think next we'll start pulling that shit off the top of the manifold, all the gas stuff, get that out of the way. All right, so just a quick buzz over just with the gun, and I just took all these hoses off here. So they were actually just the crossover hoses that went onto those little things that were on the ground over there. Pull the wiring across. Already it's freed up so much space up the front here. And you can sort of see where my finger is. These little nipples, that's for the gas. So I might even chuck the other intake manifold on the VL over there and chuck that on this. That way it's all sealed. And yeah, I know the injectors are good on that as well. So might do the old switcheroony. But once it's all out, we can give the valley inside the block a nice clean and just clean everything and clean up all the wiring. And already just removing all this gas stuff, you know, there's so much more room to work in here now. So we'll keep trekking on, and then we'll do the bolts for the manifold. Oh, now it comes off. Well, there you go. Bit of mud in the valley here, so we're going to give this a good clean. So I'm going to shove some rags inside the ports so no shit gets in, and then I'm just going to degrease this valley, clean it all up, make it look mint, because yeah, that's disgusting. So our coolant piddling at the bottom, that's just for the throttle body, so that coolant obviously goes through and that just stops it from freezing in cold conditions. All right, so here we have our manifolds out. So on the left, the very nice shiny looking one, that's the VL, and on the right, this rat shit looking one is the GU's one. So they're the exact same manifolds, which is perfect. If I want to swap them over, I want them to be the same. Now, this came off a running SS, which I know that's good. So all the injectors are good. The manifold gaskets on this one look brand new. so I'll use them just for now. But I've already ordered some manifold gaskets because obviously being in stage 4 lockdown, it's hard to get parts off the shelf. So these manifolds are so easy to rip off, I can just do that in a later date. That doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, just to get it running for now, we'll do that. So with our manifolds here, this is the old one from the GU. So the inlet for the fuel was switched around on this one. It was on the opposite side for the Commodore. So you just gotta take the fuel rail off, twist it, put it back down like I have now. So I just gotta sit that in and bolt it in, and then put these little clips for the injectors in. We're just gonna go over the manifold and make sure it perfectly mimics this one. So all the pipes will go in the same spot, all the throttles the same, all the plugs are the same, and yeah, and then we can get ready for this one to be put on. Whoops, it's a rail. And then before that, we need to just clean the underneath of it and make sure all the gaskets are good. So we'll keep going. So I've just gone over a couple of things and double checked to make sure they're identical. So we flip the fuel rails around. I used the existing MAF sensor off the old one, but look at the difference. That one looks so much nicer. But it's gonna get muddy anyway, but this one's just rat shit. It's just disgusting. And plus it's got the gas ports there. Let's keep going. Also just started cleaning those ports there as well with some degreaser and the rags, just so to keep all the dirt out of it. All right guys, so I was just cleaning up in there and I was about to change that cam angle sensor when I found something very interesting, which might be a massive issue to our overall problem. So let me just hop in the bay first. So this is our cam angle sensor plug right here, and you can probably tell there's something wrong with it. Now you can see we have a broken wire. A lot of the times when these break or whatever, they can cause my issue. So luckily I have prepared for this. I have a spare loom out of a VXSS, and I think that's one of the plugs we need. So you have to resolder one of these plugs in, but not too bad. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and first of all I have to apologize because I set the camera down, or the GoPro down, to time-lapse the intake assemble, and it probably lasted about 10 seconds and switched off. I think the battery died on it, so I didn't get that. Plus we had some guys come and fix a water meter, so I sort of just shut up shop for yesterday, and now I'm back at it today. So with some camera magic and some editing magic, voila, we are done. How much better does that look with the better intake on it, all the gas shit off? This is most of the stuff that I ripped off from the gas. And over here we have all this extra wiring harness from the gas as well, so that should make it look a little bit nicer. What it already has, it's cleared up a lot of room. I've also spent about like an hour just tucking up wires and stuff underneath, all the starter wires, to get them away from the exhaust. Cable tied everything away, rerouted it in different spots just to make it a bit neater, because if we do go for drives and stuff that are long distance, I want it to be pretty reliable. I don't want things catching on fire. So I think next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just tighten up the fuel line and stuff, and then we'll prime it and see if it roars into life. Fingers crossed it does. All right, so I've just got the fuel line bolted up. We also have all the injectors, made sure they're all good. I'm a bit nervous because it's obviously a new intake, new injectors, cam angle sensor. Hopefully when we start it, there'll be no crazy backfires. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm nervous, but let's do it. First time on camera, so I always try and get the first ones on camera, so a genuine reaction from me. So let's just prime it first. Fuel pump. I'm going to start it, fingers crossed. Okay. Whoa. Runs good. Fuck, started right up. Oh my god. I was so scared. I don't know if you can tell, that runs amazing. Usually it would backfire for like 6-7 seconds. It runs so smooth. All right, so now I'm just gonna go check over everything, make sure there's no fuel leaks on the injector side of things, and I'm just gonna check all the connections, all the vacuum lines, and make sure they're all good. Oh, I'm so relieved. It started straight away. Well, this manifold had no fuel in it for a very long time, so it's filled up pretty quick and it's fired right up. Thank God. I'm so happy. I'm in the car. Just reversed it out of the driveway. Seems to be running good. Got my seatbelt on. Right, let's see if she starts. The battery's really dead, but see how good it starts on a flat battery. Starts right up, that's pretty good. Got to get a new battery. This one's so dead. Let's go forward. Feels really good. A lot of times it would just cut out, so It's a lot smoother through the rev range. Before it just sort of struggled to pick up, and then a lot of the times when I'd wind it out, it'd really struggle. All right, might take it home and muck around a little bit more in the engine bay. I'm just really glad that it runs really smooth. Even just like getting a little bit into it there, you can feel it pull a lot harder. That's what I want. So I don't want to drive the hell out of it now, because I sort of want it to be good for roadworthy. So we'll get back in the engine bay and have a look, make sure there's no leaks as well from that throttle body too. All right, I've left it for a little bit and no leaks. That's just some dirt that's fallen out of it. Let's have a look in here to make sure everything's good. That's old coolant from when the coolant tank thing exploded, or the radiator. You can see down here this little wiring area. I've sort of just cable tied it back here. I've still got to snip the cable ties, but it's kept everything off the pulleys. There was a power steering line that was rubbing on one of these pulleys, so I've moved that out of the way. You can see the airbox is in here now. So I'll show you what I want to do with this while we're here as well. In here we have a little gap where the airbox is, and I sort of want to get this galvanized steel panel, which I've just got lying around the house, and make a little like closure thing there to cover that hole in the engine bay from the snorkel. Cut this out to a nice shape. Obviously I'll grind it and then make it nice, and I'll spray paint it black so it blends in with the airbox. And I sort of want to just tuck it in here under the airbox lip, and then under the guard bolts here, so it's sort of just like a nice little filler panel in here. So this is sort of the idea I had, just to sort of shroud this section. So just got this galvanized bit just under the guard slit under here. Obviously we'll bolt it into the guard, and this section will bolt into the side of the airbox. So I'm just trying to get some measurements now, and we'll see how we go. But I'm sort of liking this idea, because obviously when I spray it satin black just like the airbox is, like that, you won't even notice it, and it'll sort of keep this bit of the bay all nice and concealed. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes, and hopefully it doesn't look like shit. So this is sort of how I'm thinking I'm going to do it. So obviously this will be all black. It'll bolt through here, and I have another hole that'll come up through the bottom here, and if I can bend this up, I might pinch it up there, but it doesn't really matter there, but I can bolt it to that too. That way it won't sort of rub against the airbox. And I've already marked where I'm going to take a little bit, this little corner off, so it's not sharp, and I've marked the bolt holes in here just with some texture, so we can make this little area all shrouded in. And yeah, I might even try to bend that lip down a little bit and cover the power steering reservoir. Doesn't matter too much though. Let's give it a nice coat of matte black, so still got like a glossy looking finish, but it should dry out to a nice matte finish. You can see here we've got some like little marks from where we were grinding before, but that's going to be under the guard, so it's all hidden. But this side looks much better. Well, that looks all right. Covers that ugly ass hole that's in the side there for the snorkel, and the airbox is nice and secure in that little area now. Now I've got to paint the airbox lid to make it look like that, because that stands out. I am going to paint the airbox lid though, probably the whole unit. So I think another thing we'll do in this little video is pop these headlights off and clean all the mud that's in there. See all this mud? We got to get that out of there, so I reckon we'll do that. Alright guys, so it's about 3 or 4 days since the last clip, and well, it's a much better day today. So in the last clip I said I want to take these headlights off and pop the lenses off, but when I was going to bed the other night, I just thought to myself, hang on, why don't I just pop the headlights out and the corner lights and shoot water and some detergent through there, clean them up, and then I'll just use not a heat gun, a hairdryer, and get all the water out of them, and that'll save me trying to split the lenses and breaking the plastic cover behind them. This one's okay, this drive light's fine, or this corner light I should say. This one needs to come out, that one definitely, look at all the mud in it, and this corner light here. They all work fine, but if I take them out, take the globes out and shoot some water and maybe some soapy water or some detergent and that, and then clean them right out. You see our little shroud there doing its thing. So it looks all nice and neat. So the guy does my roadworthies and that, he just wants to make sure it all looks cleanish. Now it has all that wiring crap out of the intake. It looks so much better. So yeah, obviously you can't have any like dirt or water fogging up of your lenses for a roadworthy reason. So I'm gonna fix that. So yeah, I'll get ready to pop these headlights out and then we'll give them a clean. All right, just pop the corner light out. So take the headlights off now. There should be another one going into the radiator support. Should be free to wiggle now, there it is. Oh, voila. The headlight and little filler panel out. You can take the filler panel off if you really want to, but it doesn't really matter, it comes out with it. Take this to the tap and try and clean all that water out, or dirt out, I should say. All right, so just sprayed some soap on there. You can see all the dirt just sort of falling down. So once you give it a hit with some water, that should clear it. Make them nice and clean for roadworthy. That way they're not holding in any dirt or moisture. Well, look at that dirt. Ugh. Well, that's with 2 passes. Still see a little bit of dirt in that corner there, just at the back So we'll keep going over that until we get it nice and clean. All right, so here we got one. This is the passenger side. This is the passenger side one that we haven't done yet, so that's got mud in it. And over here, we did the driver light. I keep calling them driver lights, the corner light as well. And this one, you can see how much better it is already. That's with a couple of rinses, so keep doing it. Look at that, much better. So keep doing that and letting them just flash off in the sun, and then put it back on the car, make the front of the car look so much better. All right guys, so it's getting pretty fucking hot, so I want to put my hat on because Beanie was starting to fucking cook. So letting the headlights cook over there in the sun while they dry. I'm gonna probably chuck my other BF on and put it on where this 35 has always been since I've owned the vehicle. So now we'll have 4 matching wheels and tires. So we'll whack that on and yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so that's one in, and oh my god, what a difference. That looks so much better. God, I don't know if you remember what they looked like before, but Jesus Christ, what a difference that is. Gotta do these lenses, gotta give these lenses a bit of a polish down here, but god, it looks so good. It's made the car look so much better. And we've got our other wheel on, yay! Alright, to save you some time of putting it all back together and showing some boring shit, there she is. So I gave the spotlights a little bit of a clean as well, but have a look at how good those headlights look now. That is such a big difference. Oh my god. God, I don't know if you remember how they looked like before. They were disgusting. And the whole car needs a buff now. Hello, wheelie bin. Alright, so I think I might actually put it back on the ground because the jack is still there. And I might take it for a little drive around the block, maybe put the GoPro on the back like I did in a couple other videos. And try and get whatever exhaust node is left that comes out the back that isn't an exhaust leak. Yeah, let's go take it for a little bust. I think I ran out of fuel. I think it's out of fuel. I really hope it's out of fuel because yeah, it's not. It just died on me. But fingers crossed the missus is coming now with fuel, so hopefully that's our issue. Fingers crossed. Girlfriend to the rescue. Well, this isn't how I thought today would have ended. I'm like riding the brakes. Fuck, it's so scary. Oh well, see you at home. Well, that was an absolute shit show. So to explain what happened, I was driving it around. Obviously, I'll put it in the GoPro clip as where it died. We were driving. I was driving pretty well, and then I gave it a bit, and it sort of just wanted to die. I tried to baby it home, and then it just started coughing and carrying on, and then it just died. It's like as soon as it got warm, it just said, "Nah, fuck this, I'm out." Luckily, Dylan towed me home. Thank you, DB, you legend. He lives around the corner, so he just flat towed me home. And then as soon as we got around the corner, I'm like to Dylan, "Oh, it'd be funny if it just starts out of nowhere," and it just started. It just turned over and it started. It could be a couple of things. I'm not sure. It might even have a wiring gremlin. It was running really well for a while, and I don't know what it is. It could be something with coils, could be the wiring harness itself, the ECU, I don't know. So at this stage, I'm gonna have a look over things and double check that new cam angle sensor we put in, maybe put the old one back in because now we fixed the plug. Yeah, I can't stress enough, that's the fun in having a project car. I honestly, as dumb as it sounds, enjoy this because you can trace everything back and you can make what once didn't work. Yeah, so, and if it gets to a stage, you know, I might have to pay an auto elect to come around and just do a once over on the loom, you know, because I don't know the history behind this car and what's happened to it in the last how many years. But I reckon if we get the keys out and start it, it'll kick over. or maybe not, see? But before it started, I managed to drive it into the driveway, but now it doesn't want to start. Could be anything. So I'm just gonna start tracing things, just like we did when we did the intake manifold. Also, this car did have gas in the past, so I want to make sure nothing with the gas is sort of intertwining with the EFI, the fuel injection systems, because sometimes that can happen on EFI cars. But we need to make sure this thing is mint before we take it on the road. But with all the bad stuff out of the way, the good things are that we made the engine bay look a lot nicer. We made those headlights look mint. Now the car's starting to look better. I'm driving it without 135. With all matching 32.8s or 33s, it drives so good. It's one of the best patrols I've driven. Honestly, it's so smooth. But enough about that. We learned a lot today, and we know not to go more than 50 meters from home. But I'd rather get stranded around the corner than in the track, so I'm glad it's all happening now so we can get the thing dialed, and you guys can watch my journey, turning this thing from a piece of shit to a running piece of shit, and we can go out after isolation's over, which should hopefully be a couple of weeks. Not over, but eased, fingers crossed. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my videos and following me on this journey from this $5,000 patrol. I hope you all stay safe throughout this shitty pandemic. And to all my Melburnians, I hope you're all staying sane. It's a hard time, but we'll get through it. And we'll see you in the next videos. Take care, everybody. Bye. All right, thank you everybody who stuck around to the end of the video. Now, I'm filming this on my phone, so I might look a bit different and the sound quality might not be as good. While I was editing the video that I've just put out for you guys, I think I found the issue. Speaking to the guy that engineered the car, or did all the gas setup on it, the injector plugs have like a little extra loom that go to another plug that actually clicks into the injectors. So that loom actually cuts the injectors out, and then you end up switching to the gas. So it cuts the injectors. I think that's what it's doing. You have to wait till the next episode to see if that fixes the issue, but I'll show you exactly what I mean. So if we go over here, see how we got these plugs here, and it plugs into a loom? Well, this is actually the injector plug here. That's the actual injector plug. This plug that's in it is the actual loom for the gas. So that might explain a lot of the reason for the issue we're having with the cutouts and the backfires and shit like that. So you have to find out until next episode if that's our problem. So again, we'll see you in the next episode. See you later.